Welcome to the Recipe Video Game Podcast. I am your host, the Red Knight, and this is a live edition of the AGL Podcast. AGL Podcast, you heard me? Woo! Brain fart. Recipe Podcast. Listen, the reason why I'm out of it right now is because I actually did get up this morning to play Mario Strikers Battle League again. And yeah, my impression remains the same with that game. I'll just say that right now off the bat. My impression with that game remains the same. Where I know it's good, but I just don't click with it, you know? And it's almost like the same thing with Rocket League, where I have fun with Rocket League, but I just don't click with it. It's the game, the back and forth of soccer. It just does not click with me. I don't know why. In any game, it's just not the funnest thing for me to do. But the game is fun, and I did have fun playing it, but it's just not my cup of tea. And that's okay, right? You can't love everything. You just can't. You can try, but you're likely going to fail. So, yeah, welcome to the Recipe Video Game Podcast. You know, I was wondering when I was going to have a flub like I just did at the beginning and name this podcast what it used to be called. But anyway, you know, it happens. This week, we are here officially. Hell, last week, let me say, because it's Saturday right now. Last week, I might as well say at this point, even though it's this week, you know what I mean? Like, Sony kicked the thing off. I didn't know what it was going to be. I was hoping that it was going to be something great. And lo and behold, it was something great, right? It was a state of play that I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this thing from beginning to end. And that's exactly what I did. I said, you know what? Let's do this. And I enjoyed myself with this show. Why? I'm going to tell you exactly why. Because if you listen to this podcast, you know I'm not a PlayStation guy at all. You know, so why did I enjoy this one? Well, because PlayStation finally did what I knew that they were going to do. I always was saying, since 2018, since I stopped just being, Switch and PC, I decided to jump back into the Xbox ecosystem. I said, Sony games are going to come to me. I'm not getting the PlayStation box ever again. Those games are going to come to PC. The same way Xbox games. The same way, look, you notice how the argument always was, oh yeah, and by the way, we are getting into this. This is headlines. We are starting this thing. You notice how a lot of PlayStation fans used to say, like, oh, I don't need an Xbox. It's irrelevant. You know, I could just play that on PC. Let's see if you start hearing them say that now. You know, yeah, you could say, oh yeah, the games come later. That's not always going to be the case. I don't think Spiderman, Miles Morales coming this fall, you know, right behind Spider-Man 2018. I don't think that's a sign of them not trying to make that next Spider-Man game in 2023 come out day one. You get what I'm saying? Like, that game, if I had to bet money right now, I would bet that Spider-Man 2, I guess you call it, right? It's not 3, because Miles doesn't count as 2. So Spider-Man 2, I bet you that game comes out day one on PC. I don't think they're gonna wait too long to start doing that, you know, Sony. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. So I'm wondering now what the narrative is gonna be. Once these games coming out day and date, you know, oh, I don't need a PlayStation, like, because I'm gonna be honest to God, like, the best thing you can do is buy these games on PC. You know, honestly, what Sony fans need to start forcing Sony to do is the same thing Microsoft does, where it's like, you know, it's just play anyway. It's smart. And I buy a first party game from Xbox. If I don't even have a PC, right? I can rest assured knowing that if in the future I do get a PC, I don't gotta rebuy Gears of War 5. I don't gotta rebuy Forza Horizon, Halo Infinite, nothing that's Microsoft first party. Why? Because, well, it's gonna be smart. You know, it's gonna be play anywhere. And that's a beautiful thing. And Sony has to just basically get up on board instead of you having to buy a PC version. That's a separate thing from the PlayStation version, because it is still a PlayStation first party game. It'd be cool if PlayStation owners get the same thing that Xbox owners get, right? It's you own that game, period, on PC and on your console. So I say this, look, it's going to be like this. This is the way it's really going to go. Of course, you're going to have the people who still going to get their PlayStation because they love PlayStation. They were just hating, you know, weaponizing anything. They weaponized their first party lineup. They can't no more. You know, they weaponized the fact that Xbox's first party lineup was on PC as a way or a reason not to get a Xbox. You know, they weaponize that, and that's not the case. You know, it's just smart business. It's just smart business all around. So that's why I like this event, because this event finally confirmed what I always knew was going to happen. What I always, like, people was like, oh, yo, sales this, sales that. And I'm like, yo, generations end. PC never does. So I'm like, you can talk about install base this, install base that. The PS4 install base was crazy. Cool, PS4, not PS5. You know, so business has to change, business has to adapt. You know, what you did in the past right now really ain't mattering. It ain't mattering for Xbox what they did in 2013 with the way they flubbed the release of the Xbox One. Right now they winning very much so. You know, and Sony, they killed it last gen, and that's just continuing this generation. But it doesn't mean that they didn't have to adapt, because they knew that they were losing the winning battle. No matter how many consoles they sell, they have to have PlayStation available in more places than any other video game platform. That's the winning strategy, is who can be everywhere, who could take time. And Microsoft was going crazy with it. So then Sony was like, yeah, we gotta adapt. We gotta change up PSN. We gotta change up how we release our first party games, basically make them multi-plat, right? And nothing about that is bad. Nothing. So the fact that Sony games now, I can rest assured that I can play Spiderman, I can play Wolverine in the future on my PC, awesome. You know what I'm saying? Now I can play everything in this industry, and it's due to the fact that, well, the industry is opening up and understanding that the way we consume games is different. Next is going to be the TV applications. You know, cloud everywhere with all of these games. And that's going to be great also for the expansion of video games. So, yeah, to me, all of this was awesome. The fact that, you know, everything that they showed here was basically a multi-plat was great. Was great. It's great to be able to watch these shows. If you're a PlayStation guy, watch the Xbox show. Why? Because, well, I mean, all these PlayStation guys always claim that I got a PC, I don't need an Xbox. So then watch the Xbox show, because you know it's going to be fire for you, because it's going to be a bunch of stuff that you can play. And the same thing goes with, you know, me watching the Sony show. It's like, you know, there's going to be some third-party stuff here that I'm definitely going to want to play. And, my bad. I'm messing with the chat real quick. All right, so, yeah, that's why you watch everything. The last holdout now is actually Nintendo. And anybody who thinks, oh, because Nintendo games are selling so crazy, they're not going to do the same thing. What did I just say about Sony? They were number one last gen. They did not even put that into consideration as a point of mattering after they realized, oh yeah, that's right. We moving on. We're going to be making games exclusive for this box. Yeah, that don't matter. We gotta compete, and Nintendo's definitely gonna have to compete. Install base is the biggest driver of selling games. At the end of the day, Nintendo is literally the biggest publisher in the video game industry, because the games that they publish, damn near all of them go diamond, over 10 million, right? So of course they're gonna say, yeah, if these guys are reaping a bigger reward because, well, they got a PC storefront, or they partnered up with Steam or with Epic, Nintendo's gonna end up doing the same thing. Just to be clear, Nintendo will be doing the same exact thing. So let's get actually into some watching of this state of play. Now, here's the thing. The last time I did this, I actually had audio. Like if I would be doing a reaction to a Nintendo Direct or Microsoft show when I do that, or some of games when I do that, right? And future state of plays now, because anything they show, it's literally going to be available to me, which is great, right? Yeah, this podcast version of me reacting isn't going to include any audio. Why? For my audio listeners on Patreon who just download the audio version. So it's just going to be footage here. But still, you know, if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to watch along. Feel free to comment, you know, all of that good stuff. But yeah, I'm going to actually try to now get into this state of play, because it kicked off with Resident Evil, you know, and I mean, who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? So, yeah, let's do this. So, it kicked off like this. It's funny because Resident Evil came out around this same time period originally when it came out on GameCube. But yeah, it kicked off with Resident Evil 4, which I'm going to say, listen, the RE engine it don't hold up for this generation. They need a new engine. And I know people gonna be like, this looks great. And I'm like, it does, of course. Density and everything, awesome. But I beg to differ on the part of it looking great in comparison to the games that are going to be coming out current gen wise. You know, I think this engine is showing its age. Even in Street Fighter 6, which we're going to see later, I think it's showing its age a bit too, even though Street Fighter looks beautiful. You know, and with the type of game that is, I think that actually, in a way, holds up even better than this. And it's a weird way to put it because this looks great. I'm not trying to knock this at all. Like, this looks awesome. But I think, like, the textures and things, like, density-wise, like, the textures and everything, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, this is something where they're going to have to upgrade this engine a lot for this generation. But I'm assuming this game is going to be cross-platform or something like that. So, yeah, it's fine. It's fine as you know, whatever it is right here for now. Because, I mean, what you learn from this is that Sony's not in a rush to move on from PlayStation 4. Obviously, they're trying to hold on to that install base, which, again, smart. That's smart. But yeah, Resident Evil 4, man, it's happened. They didn't show too much there, but they let you see enough that, yeah, it's going to be a different, you know what I mean? A different take on the game that we all know. It'll probably be shorter, streamlined. It's clearly going to have different segments, gameplay segments and things like that, which is really cool. You know? And look at that shot right there. I could just see him running from the boulder already. But yeah, there's a game in this that if this was a rap song, they would say the feature killed you on your own rap song. Even though technically this is a feature on PlayStation's rap song. You know what I mean? Like, well, I forget what it's called. Well, we'll get there, you know, and I'm talking about Protocol, whatever it's called. We'll get there in a second. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm gonna jump through these, not to make it, you know, overly long. Oh yeah, the VR push they showed, obviously cool with you know, Resident Evil 8 and all that. So that's just gonna be so scary in there. Good luck to y'all playing in VR. Whoa! But they showed new content for Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, which is cool. You know, I love Walking Dead, so it's cool to see Walking Dead games. I actually wish there was a playable version of that game outside of VR. But I'm not going to knock when new ideas are introduced into the industry and they create exclusive ideas for that idea. You know, so, yeah, it's fine, you know, that it's not. I get it. This is to push VR, you know. Yeah, they showed some Horizon VR. And then, let's see. All right, so it ends here. Oh, yeah, they showed the hard mode coming to Horizon, which is cool that game's getting new content, new frame rates and all that. Which is cool. Because, you know, Elden Ring kind of ate that game's, not kind of, it did eat that game's lunch. Oh, yeah, so here is the moment where I got so happy because, you know, it said PlayStation fan favorite. It's coming to PC. And I'm like, yeah. And I saw this Insomniac. I'm like, finally I could get the game. It comes out in August. Spiderman. Still, it's literally the only thing I've wanted to play on PlayStation's ecosystem for a whole generation. And some, if you include this one. It's the Spider-Man stuff, man. Come on. Like, everybody should be able to play Spider-Man games because it's always been a thing. You know, it's dope Spider-Man games. I remember being the GameCube player, having friends on PlayStation 2, and we all talking about Spider-Man, you know, 2, when that game came out and being mad fun. Hulk Ultimate Destruction and being mad fun. So, yeah, I want these games to come out and you know, be available to more players. And that's what we get with Spider-Man Remastered coming to PC August 12th, 2022. Man, so good. Honestly, they should have showed Miles Morales here. I don't even know why they didn't end it with Miles Morales. But, yeah, Stray, I want to talk about this. This actually was a number 2 game on Steam the other day. I don't know where it's at right now. And with good reason, because this game looks awesome. It's looked awesome since the first time they showed it at the original reveal of the PS5. Come on, you're playing as a cat. Genius. The world looks stunning, beautiful. So I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And another game, I was like, yeah, I could pick this up on PC. Even though this is like this feels like something just like Tunic, where eventually, it'll be on Xbox. So if I wanted to wait just to get it on Xbox, I could do that. But either way, it's something that I can play right now, right when it comes out, if I want. And this game comes out actually very, very soon. It comes out in July, if I'm not mistaken. In July. Like, it's so cool. The way it sounds when it screams, the fact that you got, the elements basically messing with you, the elements of this game, which is robots, weird looking rats, and of course, the dangers of you climbing and platforming. That has to be the title screen, right? It just has to be. Come on, man. They kicked it off right. I was so happy seeing this game. July 19th, so soon. So many games coming out now. And people be worried about the first party stuff. Come on. Oh, yeah, they get to play that. That's like if it was going straight into Game Pass, which is cool. And here we are. The moment of truth. What's the name of this goddamn game again? I don't even remember. Is it Ghost Protocol? It's not Ghost Protocol. Ain't that goddamn Mission Impossible? This game, all of this that you're seeing here, none of it is cinematic. It's all the game. It's not, in-engine cinematic. It's not. This is the game. This is what you're going to buy. This is what you're going to play. Every single shot in this trailer. The developer actually said this on Twitter yesterday. And I was like, I thought that when I looked at it. And goddamn, it looks insane. And this is a game that I feel like ate Dead Space remastered food, Resident Evil, because these are old games like that everybody played before. You could be as hype as you want for it. At the end of the day, something new, interesting looking that looks on par with those things is gonna be more exciting. And this is that to me. You know what I'm saying? This feels like it scratches the itch of so much. You know what I'm saying? Because it feels like Doom 3 Fear, but then Dead Space, Resident Evil, Alien Isolation, all in one. Some Gears of War up in there too, which is, it's a lot of good games that I'm putting in one category to, compare this game to. Oh, just ripped out the wall. Yeah, this is mad scary. But the damage, this feels fully like a next generation game, which it is, 100%. I mean, did you see the lighting when that damn ship came in at the beginning? Callisto Protocol, the Callisto Protocol, December 2nd this year. Insane. Like, that game looks crazy. It just does. When I saw this, I actually thought it was Sable, because it looks just like it, but it's just a roller game here. It looks fine. But let's get now to... Oh, yeah, this game looks crazy, too. I forget the name of it. It's Eternites. Eternites, yeah. This game looks cool. Like, I love seeing, like, these games that look like a lot of the games that made up, the PlayStation 2 generation. It was these Japanese, crazy-looking games. So it's cool to see still stuff like this coming out. It's not like you're going to get much... Look at that motorcycle section. It's not like you're going to get much, Japanese games from Sony now, first-party wise, because, well, we already know what happened with that. But, yeah, this looks cool. Not one of the games that I wanted to focus on. Yeah, Eternites. When does that game actually come out? Early 2023? There was a lot of 2023 in the show, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, people get so bent out of shape about that. I'm like, personally, I got so much to play, you know what I'm saying, across my platforms. I guess if you're just a one console person, then you'll be struggling. Like, I didn't love, Mario Strikers, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm not personally picking up that game. But it's so much to pick up right when that game comes out. It's still so much to play. I'm still playing stuff, that it's like from last year because it's still getting content this year. So yeah, here we go. Street Fighter 6. I like that Capcom logo, graffiti style. Dude, this open world section, we're going to spend a little bit of time here. This open world section, I'm going to tell you why it's so amazing. Because the truth is, I loved when fighting games would do crazy little side things like, what was it called? Mortal Kombat. What's it called? Shadow Monk, something like that. Remember the Mortal Kombat adventure game where you played with Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and it was like this basically like a beat 'em up. It was cool that they did that, and people Shaolin Monks I think it was called, right? And people hated on that. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest, but it was cool, and it would have been better if it was just part of a full Mortal Kombat game. I think it would have been less hated on. It's like the Subspace Emissary. That thing was garbage, really, but it was fun to have something in there with these cool cinematics in between. The actual gameplay was garbage. It was like you was running around on long Smash Brothers stages with Smash Brothers platforming and just beating up things. It's like, oh, let's make Break the Target kind of a platforming game. And it's fine, but it was never something great. Like I played it twice, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, again, not the greatest thing. But the cinematics were incredible. But I like that it existed within a really great game. So it not being the greatest thing, being a part of something that's overall great, makes it good to have the option to have that, And I would say the Subspace was better than anything they ever did in any of the Smash Brother games that would follow it, They like what they added to let's say Smash Ultimate, that whole thing where you was just going over the board and picking things and then having these scenarios, these fights where you had to basically, adapt your character to it. It was fine, but I wouldn't say it was better than Subspace, because Subspace had the cinematics to go along with it, which made the whole experience epic. This game having a story mode is cool as hell, real cool. So I ain't gonna knock it for having like this whole section where you could walk around in it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just wanted to bring it back real quick. Just because, well, I want to also talk about the fighting in the game. Man, look at these environments. This is what I'm saying. Like, I feel the RE engine is working a lot better for something animated than something that's supposed to be more like photorealistic, like Resident Evil. Even though Resident Evil, they still try to keep the style of Resident Evil 4, which I do appreciate. This dude is doing Horyukens in the street. It reminds me of Yakuza games right here. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was somebody who worked on Yakuza who was working on this. And then look at Chun-Li. I love that they gave her such a big look. Because to me, she's, alongside Ryu, the face of Street Fighter. Equally. You know what I'm saying? Like, they, to me, I know most people say Ryu, but that's because dudes have this, complex where it's hard for them to give props to women, which is mad weird. But look at her with her hands behind her back. Like, that shit is so cool. And these effects right here that you're seeing, like these particles breaking up and everything, I love that because it reminds me of what I love about Mario Strikers. It's those, super strikes where you get the crazy, graffiti-looking visual style. Obviously, this game is going to keep that still going, the graffiti style of Street Fighter 4. Introduce to Street Fighter 4 because you see it right here when they're fighting, But the particles ain't as heavy as it was in those other sections, which I wish it was because I think that looked awesome. But obviously, look, the effects are crazy. The Dukeins are crazy. And it's sad, man. Like, a lot of characters got leaked out. Like, Ken got leaked out and stuff like that. And it sucks because, you know what I'm saying? Like, Street Fighter fans are the ones who do that to themselves because they anxious. So they'll leak something or they'll, be fishing for any kind of information. And they got it. And it's like, yeah, this game comes out next summer. You literally... See, that all looks like gameplay, so I guess the I don't know, it's weird. It looks like they're going to have all that crazy looking animation and stuff in there. Particles and textures of graffiti, I mean. The logo, obviously, better. They just made it more chunky to 6. It looks better than what was there before. But, yeah, Street Fighter fans did themselves a real disservice by, spoiling the characters. Because, that stuff that they're going to roll out, throughout the release. And I'm happy that this game is multi-platform. It's coming to Xbox because, Street Fighter 5 being only on PlayStation 4 was 100% a mistake. And Capcom knew it. Capcom knew it. They were not wrong. It was 100% a mistake to have that game only on PlayStation and PC. Like, there's certain games that's bigger than that. Like, I say, like, if you buy, let's say the company, right? I guess you got to buy the whole WB games, but let's just say NetherRealm for the purpose of the point I want to make. And you got the Mortal Kombat franchise. To make that shit exclusive to your device will be mad weird. Like Mortal Kombat forever is. I look, everything that was in the arcade should be always multi-platform. That's what I feel. You know what I'm saying? Everything that was in the arcade should be multi-platform. People are like, yo, even Donkey Kong. Listen, I said what I said. That's different than like all these fighting games. Like that shit was community building. You know what I'm saying? Like going into arcades and put it in your court and playing these games and fighting against people. You know, in a way that wasn't physically fighting, but people would get definitely personally upset when they lost. You know, and wanted another quarter and wanted to fight again. But it was a cool way to basically have people not actually fighting in real life and taking it out on a video game. I think Street Fighter did a lot of good for a lot of people in a lot of communities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really do believe it. I'm not just talking shit here. I really mean what I'm saying. So, yeah, Street Fighter is looking great. Like, absolutely great. I love the animations, but, I mean, Street Fighter's always been good with that. But this just looks crazy. The particles and everything are out of this world. Insane. Like, I feel like that dude's fighting style is gonna be a lot more closer to DJ unless they change him up. But it's looking like they did. I don't want to talk about the lead characters because I feel like, you know what? I want to be, even though I did see like a whole image on Twitter, couldn't miss it. I saw it. I saw my dude Ken Master and everything, looking like a goddamn Streets of Rage character. That's all I'll say. But like I want to talk about them when they actually reveal them, when Capcom does the rollout that they want to do. I always say, you respect the rollout. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the fun of getting to the game. If you know everything beforehand, by the time you get the game, then you probably wouldn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like trailers to movies that spoil you just way too much. It's like, are you going to care after the fact? So yeah, coming to 2023 to every platform except the Nintendo Switch. And that's why it will be great if when Breath of the Wild 2 came out, Nintendo had a Super Nintendo Switch available. And imagine that console being available with a confirmed launch window release of Street Fighter, of a launch day release of Resident Evil, 4. Like, that would be great. I think it's the perfect time for Nintendo to drop a console and have a great body of work on it, So, yeah, Tunic is coming to PlayStation. More people get to play that masterpiece. Oh, yeah, I definitely want to show this off because this looks stunning. This is Seasons, Letter to the Future. That's the name of this game. And I love the art style. Just look at this. This is incredible. Incredible. Probably the best art style we saw in this whole show. And we had heavy-hitter AAA games in the show. To me, this art style right here is the best I think we've seen on the show. Look at this. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like a 3D inside Limbo style. But it's real. It looks so real, even though it's, very paint-like looking. It just looks real. Sometimes these, games with these crazy, heavy artistic visual styles, these games can literally just outshine anything. And I literally think you could put this game next to anything and everyone will agree it looks just as good as the thing you put it next to. You know what I'm saying? Callisto Protocol, yeah, this looks just as good as that. But going in a whole different direction in the, art style, what people would say cartoony direction, Even though I wouldn't consider this really cartoony. It is cartoony. I would consider it cartoony. It's just not, like, I feel like people try to use cartoony like in a demeaning way to say kitty or something like that. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just art, man. It looks like a moving painting. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. Put that next to Breath of the Wild. It looks awesome. All right, that was a 2022 release. There wasn't much. And then there was Final Fantasy, which, I mean, what is this, 16 at this point? Final Fantasy, and this one looked like it's heavy on the summons, heavy on the big creatures fighting, which is fine, which is cool. Obviously, you're still getting the characters and things like that, which, again, the visuals to this game are sick. Like all the games in this, in this state of play look beautiful. Just cool art styles. And I say this every time I'm reacting to any of these video game shows, yo. You got to go out of your way to make an ugly game in 2022, So, yeah. Look at this. This is epic right here. Big, giant battle cinematics. But the crazy thing is, like, the in-game gameplay looks real close to the cinematics now. Where if you told me, oh, those cinematics are actually in-game, I'd be like, oh, word. All right, I believe you. I believe you, because the games look just so absolutely stunning now. That looks beautiful. Like, this whole thing, like, it's crazy. Like, they went crazy with the summons. I'm assuming those are the giant summons, like in the past games. This was what I really remembered. I didn't even remember none of the actual regular human stuff. I remember this because I just felt like this felt so grand. Like, they captured the scope of it all very, very well. Man, how many years y'all heard me saying, man, Link should have been either flying on his Owl friend or, Kapor Gerbora, or have a Pegasus, Epona, I was like, man, I've wanted that since I played God of War 2. Like, Link should have a Pegasus Epona. I thought it would work well in the open world game. And now you got, Elden Ring has one, this game has one. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn it, flying horses are cool. So, yeah. That was the state of play, and it was good, man. It was good. Like I said, there was a lot there for me personally. There was a ton there. So I enjoyed it a lot. And like I said, we all win, man. We 100% all win by having these games available to us all, So, yeah, now, let's get into Pokemon. Yeah, let's do that. Listen, I've been saying that I was going to play a Pokemon game finally. It's been 22 years since I played Pokemon. It was Silver on 64 through the adapter and the controller that connected to Pokemon Stadium 2 on your console, and it acted basically like a Super Game Boy. So you could play your handheld game on your screen. So I've always played Pokemon on a home console. Let's just put it like that. All my Pokemon experience has been on a home console. So when the Switch came out, I knew, I was like, yeah, well, we're going to get mainline Pokemon now on a home console. And I've been waiting and seeing all these Pokemon games and seeing which one was going to grab me like the most to be like, yeah, I'm going to go and pick a Pokemon game up finally. Arceus came close. But I always said this when Arceus was coming out, people were, clowning on the graphics. I said, it doesn't really matter because, they're going to make another one next year, another one next year, and they're going to iterate and iterate and iterate and iterate, right? Well, here we are. This is mainline Pokemon. 100%. And this looks fire. 100%. The art direction is very nice. Yeah, texture work could be better and all that. Absolutely. But look, I was just talking about Resident Evil texture work. So I could talk about that. Like, at the end of the day, both these games look great. Resident Evil, different games, graphic level wise, but they both look beautiful. Great as Resident Evil and Pokemon games. Amazing. This being better than that, Resident Evil, because Resident Evil was a remake. But this new mainline Pokemon game, I love these starters. That's my boy right there, my little chunky man. And I know now we got LeChunk, actually, which has been making waves, the pig, which I don't think you actually see in this trailer. This little chubby guy, I forget its name. It's something me. And I want that little guy. I'm going to start with this little dude, little alligator dude, crocodile dude, whatever he is. That's going to be my starter. But I need a Bulbasaur, and I need that goddamn chunky-looking Pikachu me character there. I love the fact, look at the hair, man. Look at the hair. I love the fact that they showcase that, like, yo, you're going to be able to create yourself. You ain't going to have to suffer through only, afros or a Caesar. You'd be lucky if you get a fade in the games. Like, man, it's cool to see that they're actually trying to put different hairstyles in there, different skin tones. Is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, there he is. He was in the trailer. LeChunk looks so cool. This little man right here, you're just going to be fighting everybody at Pokemon battles. He has this little creature that looks good. Different environments they're showing. And then this was the big thing here. This went over my head when I watched it the first time. I saw the 4 people there, but I was thinking like, oh, that's probably just some trading. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you trade in this little area, y'all can see each other. Cool. But it's like, nah, the game is playable, 4-player co-op. So I'm like, so this is the dream right here. Overall, it's an open world, real mainline Pokemon game that's playable with friends. I'm like, this is amazing. 10 out of 10. Awesome. Give it all the sales, give it all the love, give it all the everything, because it deserves it. I was like, yo, they did it all. I know I should have let the trailer finish. Why do that when we could watch it again? It'll finish this time. Yeah, this is, I mean, what we want. And again, you can say whatever you want about the visual styles, but the same thing I said about Arceus applies to this game. You know they're gonna make more. Even if you're not getting a sequel to this next year, and you get a sequel to Arceus, or even you get a new Let's Go, whatever the hell, Let's Go LeChunk game instead of Pikachu and Eevee, you know you're gonna get more Pokemon games, and you know they're gonna iterate on this like soon enough. At max, to wait for one of these, you're gonna have to sequel to this game. You're gonna have to wait 2 years max, if that, because these games come out all the time. And it might right now be, I don't know, remaking something in this engine, one of the old games. Which at this point I'm like, please don't, just make more of these. Milk it. It's not even milking, man. It's not milking it if the audience wants it. Milk goes stale, you know what I'm saying? Pokemon would have went stale. Has Pokemon gone stale? No. So it ain't milking. It's exactly what the people want. They're giving the people what they want. So that's cool. Man, I don't know if they're going to have Bulbasaurs and things like that in this game. I hope that they do. If they don't, I'm going to be real disappointed. Because that's my guy. That's my favorite Pokemon. I would love to have a Bulbasaur. I would love to have a Mew. Not just a Mewtwo, but an actual Mew. Why not? An Entei. That's another legendary I really liked. Yeah, so let me know how y'all are feeling this, because I like this a lot. I think this looks great. Absolutely great. And then you get the cinematic right here, the big reveal. I wanted to just save this for a little bit before I get to them. And I want to pause them too. But you see the one I like, because you see it highlighted all over the podcast graphic. You see it highlighted all over. Oh, look at the jet engines. I wasn't feeling the jet engines at first, but then I was like, I don't care. I like them. Hold up. Got it. Look at these dudes, man. They both look great. But I don't know their names. I know their names is out there. But my purple one right here, that looks, mechanically made, if that makes sense. I just love it, man. That purple, the lighting and everything looks insane. Imagine when we get to actually battle with these guys. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. And then you get your box arts, which are beautiful. Just beautiful box arts. I think a lot of people are going to go for Scarlet, but you'd be surprised. I think a lot of people are going to want Violet. And I don't think that was the case when they originally showed off the game. Yeah, what was all this about? All the diamonds and all that. Let me go back to that. Crazy. Yeah, so Pokemon, man. This the one right here. I'm looking forward to picking up this Pokemon game for sure. Because, I mean, look at it. It looks fucking fantastic. Fantastic. So, yeah, let's go actually now to talking about the poll that I put up about a week ago, which was the question of, will Nintendo actually have a digital event this year? You see this image right here. This is the old digital event from, man, I can't remember what year this was. But I remember really loving this graphic and the build up to this actual show. But yeah, this year's digital event would have to happen on June 14th, not 10th, like you see in that little graphic right there. On June 14th. And I asked, like if, what did I ask? I'm going to tell you exactly what I said. Will Nintendo put on a summer E3 like show on Tuesday, June 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern, or will they wait for E3 to actually return next year? Keep in mind, though, that this would break over, 20-year streak of Nintendo doing E3 shows at this point, which is crazy. It's either over that or close to that, one of the two. It's around there, though. And that's what I'm saying. If I had to be a better man, I would still bet that they are going to have a show just because it's part of their DNA as a company to do something this time of the year. And the fact that Sony actually put on the show, which was appealing to me, which was a good show for PlayStation fans and just gamers in general. What do I always complain about every year since Sony stood out? Well, I complained about Sony. And what do I complain about? I hate the fact that they sit out. Don't sit out of the June festivities. Video game announcements, the season of games, right? Don't miss out. Be there. I don't care if you only got one thing to show. Like Nintendo had only Breath of the Wild that one year that they showed. Do it, do it. And Sony did something this year, so I don't want Nintendo to sit out this year because then I'm gonna be saying the same thing about Nintendo that I've said about Sony, which is like, come on, man. I know they already put on the show in February, and they have a lineup of games dropping literally every month. It feels like every goddamn week. No, but every month they got something coming out. Obviously, right now it's crazy. So it's like, yeah, do they really need it? They already gave us an E3 level show this year. I get it. I understand it. But I'm gonna just be selfish and say you could show us more Splatoon. You could show us a trailer to Breath of the Wild. You could tease something else from next year. You could maybe show off Advance War again, even if you're not gonna give it a launch year. You could show it off a little bit more. There's a lot there that they could show. Bayonetta. Just participate. I'm like, listen, Sony show, this state of play, everybody, like, it was so great, but everything they showed here, for the most part, we knew existed. We knew was coming, and I knew that the Spiderman games were eventually going to come to PC. I always know. I've always held out and said it's going to happen, and it happened. I didn't know it was going to happen, now, but I knew it was going to happen by 2023 because Sony's stated already that they trying to make a lot of money from the PC market. 300 million, that means they dropping a lot of games, not just these two Spider-Man games. They dropping a whole lot more. So I knew that was going to happen. And yeah, that was all things we knew about. Nobody complained. Everybody was perfectly fine. Seeing things that we haven't seen in a while, getting clarity on when they're going to release. And this was a show that didn't even include God of War, which I felt like if they don't show God of War, it's going to automatically be an L. And it wasn't. Why? Because the announcements were actually appealing to the broader video game industry. I feel so everybody was like, there's something there for me. Even though if you play Spider-Man or you mad because you want to be one of those guys who just wants your games tied to a box, which potentially can then have those games lost to that box becoming irrelevant. Obviously we got backwards compatibility and forward compatibility happening more often than not, right? But still, when games are tailor-made for a box, it's not a good thing. So having the PC version, that means they can never take it away. It'll always be there for you. So, yeah, the results to the poll went as follows. 86% said yes, they are going to have an E3-like show this year. 14% said no. So, yeah, those were the results. And Jim said, as much as I hope they do, I do not think that it will happen. As I mentioned on the Discord, Nintendo treats E3 like a trade show first, then the consumer show second. And without the trade show, Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo does best and spend that time making games. I would agree with that, but over the last years, it hasn't been a trade show, really. Especially with the pandemic, the industry has adapted. So I would still lean towards them actually, doing the actual E3 show. So you say you don't think they're going to do something in June, but they might do a game-specific direct. I mean, they just dropped this Pokemon trailer. It wasn't a direct, but kind of felt like one. it didn't feel like one, but yeah, they could do a specific game one. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 you mentioned. They could do one for that. They've been revealing a lot about that game on social media though already, so I don't know. But that's a game that they could show alongside of the stuff still. That's what I'm talking about. Like they got games out there that they can just show little playable sections and things like that. Hell, they could do a show without even doing the Treehouse Live this year, and it'll be fine. So you said you feel the next direct will be coming in September. I mean, I mean, yeah, that can be the case. That can definitely be the case. But let's see. Yeah, I think everybody still believes that a direct is gonna happen, which is good. I think if we all hope it enough, we'll all be real disappointed when it doesn't happen. I'm just like, if we all hope enough, it'll hopefully come. You know what I'm saying? It'll hopefully arrive, into our psyche on the 14th. That Tuesday, please, man. I hope they do. I would love to see Zelda. I would love to see a teaser Metroid Prime 4. I would love Nintendo to just shake the nation and be like, yo, Zelda will be launching day and date on Nintendo Switch and Super Nintendo Switch. Oh my God. That would be great. Yum, yum. Anyway, all right, so now that we got that out the way, the poll, I actually want to get back into looking at some games because I don't play the Warhammer series. I was actually going to play it for the first time this year with Dark Tide, So yeah, I was excited, right? Because it's a 4-player game. It's coming right into Game Pass. And I said, yeah, I'm excited to play Dark Tide. Speaking of Dark Tide, there was a new trailer for the game. So let's get into it right now. Now, I was excited for this game. But I want to mention this Warhammer series for more than just talking about the actual what was it called? It was called they had like their own like direct show. It was called the Warhammer. What was it called? I can't remember for the life. Skulls. That's what it was called. Warhammer Skulls. That's just replaced Nintendo Direct with Warhammer Skulls. That's basically what it is. The Skulls is the direct part, I guess. So they had a whole lot of Skulls. If Skulls is games, they had a whole lot. Now, I wanted to bring this up to mention not only does this game look good, but to mention what I said I wanted from the Xbox show, right? I want Xbox. I was saying I want Xbox to utilize the IP. Some people consider it milking. I say utilizing, and that means doing more with whatever the IP is, and just going in different avenues, different video game genres. That's what I personally wanted. And man, this Warhammer 40K series, yo, they don't play. The amount of games that they showed off, they had a ton of updates for all of the games out there. That's one thing. They had Total War Warhammer. They have mobile games. They got RPGs. They have card games. They have Fire Emblem style, games. I guess we call those strategy, right? Like basically. But they also had like the Age of Empires, those style games with the giant armies and everything fighting, which I'm gonna show you right here. So look at Sonic right there. We're gonna get into that. They had this one, man. The name of this game is absolutely crazy. It's Warhammer 40K Shooters, Blood, and Teeth. And well, look at the genre of the game. Wasn't I saying, yo, imagine if they did a Gears of War Contra? Because Gears of War is basically Contra, just in 3D. Why not do a 2D game? They're doing it. They're doing exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, one of these games is going to stick. And here's the thing. I never played a Warhammer game in my life, right? And Warhammer is Warhammer. And then Warhammer 40K, I think it's a separate thing, right? It's like a spinoff. This is me just from the outside looking in, right? Warhammer fans, if you're listening to this and you're like, yo, you wrong, let me know in the comments, so that I'm not wrong in the future. But this 40K series, they expanding and doing a bunch of spin. I feel like the 40K is like Halo, the Silver Timeline, an excuse to do whatever we want, right? Again, I don't know if that is the case, but that's what it feels like. And they're doing whatever they want. Look at this shit. Look at these giant men. Now, I'm throwing this back, man. I'm throwing this back. And this is coming to Switch. And as I said, these guys got no problem putting their games on Switch. They're just not going to compromise their big releases that are insane with this watered down, not capturing the essence of what the game that they want to make is, with their bigger games. That's more reason why I say Nintendo should have a Super Nintendo Switch out, because they get great third-party support now. And I know these third parties want to put, their big games on the actual Switch. And so they'll probably need a Super Nintendo Switch to fit their games. But yeah, look, they're doing it, man. They're making a variety of games within the Warhammer 40K series, and they're gonna get me to play them because they're making these different genres. You know what I'm saying? There's 4 games I want to play from them in this one show that they showed by itself, and this is one of them. The previous one, Dark Tide, of course I'm gonna play. That's coming into Game Pass, but I do want to play that game. That was the original one that I was looking forward to. I didn't know something like this was gonna exist, but this is exactly what I was saying Microsoft needs to do with their studios. They need to do more, man. They need to do more. They can do more, and they should do more. Now this one is more of a developer commentary, right? And if I'm not mistaken, this looks like Gears of War with the Warhammer skin. And I'm not trying to take nothing away from this. And this game is part 2. If I'm go by the logo at the end, right? Space Marine 2. I'm like, I don't even remember Space Marine 1. And I don't know if it was their messaging was just not great with, the marketing of that game or whatever the case may be. Maybe that game wasn't well received. And this is, one where they're going bigger, better. I don't know. But this game right here, I said, shit, I want to play this too. Watch when they show the game. Even the work that they show that they're doing is fantastic. But I was like, yeah, I definitely want to play this too. Like, definitely. Like, it's insane, the amount of detail and the work that they putting into it. And I like the way these characters look mad bulky. Again, the Space Marines look like giant Gears of War characters. They actually remind me of the mech suits that you wear in Gears of War 4 and 5 in the actual story mode. You saw them doing the mocap and they were actually right there in the game. That's awesome. I love seeing stuff like that. And then, look at the imagery to the game. This looks insane. Insane. Like, it kind of looks like him. It kind of looks like they literally put him in the game. And not just like, the voice actor or anything like that, but the blood, the violence, the chainsaws. That's where the vibes of Gears come. But they showed some gameplay, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right here. And I'm like, look at this. It looks like Gears, but crazier, And that's not. I'm not trying to like knock it by saying that. That's me giving this props. Like, it looks amazing. Like, if you're a Gears fan, I think you're definitely gonna be interested in playing this. Like, why wouldn't you be? Like, it looks insane. So good. So good. So yeah, that's another one. And then this is so cool. This is like, what if Warhammer came out in the 80s when Doom and Wolfenstein was gonna be, all the craze on the PC side, right? This is that. And man, what would you call these things again? The ROMs, right? Damn, look, I'm already forgetting this shit. Like, yo, time, man, time. You're gonna see them pull out the ROM right here, and in the game, like, oh, Jamie Stuff, 1999. See, 90s. Did I say 80s or 90s? I meant to say 90s. Late 80s, 90s, right? Basically. Look at this. Look at the visual style. Amazing. Because everything about this looks like a current generation game in the sense of the amount of characters on screen, even the details. It's like, yeah, it's a current generation game faking as a game from the past, and I love that. Like, this is awesome. Like, me personally, I'm like, yo, instead of making, remaking Wind Waker, I'd rather you just go back into that engine and remake Wind Waker sequel in that same engine. You know what I'm saying? Because it would still look beautiful to this day. Imagine making a Majora's Mask like game and being like, this is another story, that same link, and we're going with the same visual style and everything. Obviously, it would look heightened and better the same way this does. Details would be better than the 64 version. It wouldn't run at 15 frames per second, obviously. But what you could do is cool. Like, and the smaller games, like, I just never understood how the indie craze could happen. And games like Undertale will take off, Shovel Knight will take off, Hollow Knight will take off. I mean, Fortnite, for crying out loud, was an indie. Like, all these games will take off. Paladins, whatever, name them. And the giant publishers didn't see that as a chance to be like, yeah, we don't got to be bleeding money with every single game we make. We can actually make those styles of games. People love that nostalgic aspect. And nostalgia, they only seem to want to do is port. The same thing. How many times can you buy Resident Evil 4? You know what I'm saying? Before you had to basically remake it in order to settle it again. And imagine how many times they're going to sell this version of it, right? So that's basically the point that I'm trying to bring up. Like, it's how many times, man? How many times can you sell the same old thing? It's like, why can't you just go in and have a developers? But yeah, y'all love that game. Make a new game with the tools that were there from the past, the same engine and everything. So yeah, this is another one. This is Trader, right? And I don't know if this is the card game or the RPG. This is Rogue Trader, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look at the damn name of the title when I clicked the video, but yeah, you see they got animation, everything like this is the top down one. They also did remakes too, not to knock it. Like, they had remakes here too. They had updates for their DLC in this Warhammer Skulls show. But the point that they're making so many new games in different genres, like this right here, like, that's mad cool. Like, I love the fact that SteamWorld Dig had like SteamWorld Dig, then they had SteamWorld Heist. They had different things in that universe, and now we're getting a SteamWorld, adventure game, like a full blown adventure game, third person, first person, whatever it's gonna be, adventure. That's Headhunter. They actually announced that they got more new games other than Headhunter coming. So yeah, this one is like, I guess you could put this on like the Fire Emblem category, right? Or is this the more RPG one? It was multiple ones. But yeah, man, Dark Tide is coming soon. That's actually coming out this year. That's gonna be exclusive on Xbox and PC. Yeah, man. There's a lot. But now what I want to talk about is something else that I wanted from the Microsoft show. And you know what that is? A brand new controller with motion controls. That was my biggest one. Wasn't that my number one thing in my list? I'll probably spoil you this for the YouTube listener. Well, this is going to be after that anyway. So they should have already heard that. You should have already heard it. So, yeah, I want an Xbox controller with motion controls. I think we need one. I think Xbox needs to stop being the last ones to use it. You see everything that Fortnite does with the push with motion controls. People are really excited about that. People use Flick Stick, which they can't use, if they're going through the cloud and playing through the Xbox ecosystem. Yeah, you're going to have a good version to play through the cloud. It's the Series X version of Fortnite. But you're not going to have those control options that you would get from playing it on Nintendo Switch, on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, anywhere else but Xbox. So I feel like Xbox needs to make a new controller. And then this happened. What the hell is going on? Wait until you see what we're working on. And it says the site will be up shortly, right? Basically, like, it's going to come back soon. We got a show coming next Sunday. Yes, a week from tomorrow. Oh my God. And if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, well, yeah, this is the show is probably happening tomorrow. You're probably listening to this, probably, the last podcast you're going to hear before that. That's not true. There's going to be, I think, 1 to 2 more. I don't know. I'm going to be doing a lot of podcasts this month. That's the point, man. There's a lot going on right now. The easiest way to keep up with everything and be there day one, obviously, is through Patreon. If you don't know, well, you'll know, to do it next year. Or just join me, now. And when all the other events come, yeah, you'll see these damn reactions live day one and all that. Plus, you'll get podcasts earlier than waiting weeks for them. Anyway, let me stop selling the goddamn platform. The Redcipe, baby. I want to talk about the controller. I hope that is what it is. I hope it's not like, elites are coming into Design Lab and you can design now elite controllers, which that's cool. And those will be more expensive, obviously. But I would much prefer it was like, Elite Generation 3 controllers are coming in. Those have motion controls. All the other cool features that the Elite has, like back paddles, removing D-pads. So maybe we could switch from the, this D-pad to the Nintendo style D-pad. Analog sticks, concave versus the opposite of that. Yeah, they do a lot with the controllers. But they need to add motion controls. It's the one feature that it's lacking. Like, listen, I was playing PlayStation 5, Spiderman, Miles Morales, my nephews, and the Rumble, well, yeah, it's fine. It's just HD Rumble. It's Rumble. At the end of the day, Rumble's Rumble. Is it better than standard Rumble? Absolutely. Is there anything that it's going to be like, oh yeah, that's gonna make me buy a game on this over on. No, hell no. Rumble, no. But motion controls, absolutely. I could see somebody being like, nah, I'm gonna get, the first person shooter that actually utilizes motion controls on the console that actually utilizes them versus the one that doesn't. Like that's something that I would have done, and I have done in the past. Where I was playing Call of Duty on the Wii because I prefer motion controls. Wii U because I prefer motion controls. When I'm playing third person shooters like Splatoon or even Fortnite right now, which I play heavy, I always go back to Splatoon and how I can do these little adjustments with the motion controls. In Fortnite, I be shooting people from far away, and I'm like, I got to do analog stick, and I'll usually overshoot it or undershoot the movement when it's tiny little movements I want to make. And that's why I'm like, see, this is where motion controls will come in handy. I would sell my 3 series controllers. I got 2 black ones and 1 white one, right? The one that came with the Series S. I would get rid of all of them. And I would literally get 3 new controllers from Xbox with motion controls. Why? Because, well, these controllers, they are generational. You know what I'm saying? So it's worth it to upgrade all of my controllers. I feel personally. Why? Because, well, I just like the motion control feature that much. But, yeah, like, you also use it to play games on PC. So it's like, if there's a PlayStation game, right? And it's on PC. And let's say that game, they decide to use the motion controls and stuff like that. At that moment, it's going to be like, damn, I should have had a PlayStation controller for this. If they put the motion controls, I'll be fine with my second favorite controller on the market, which my first is the Pro controller. Why? Motion controls, damn it. Motion controls, because it's an Xbox controller with motion controls. So once Xbox do that, I'll be happy, you know what I'm saying? With their controller. And they will have a headphones jack. So it'll make it the most top tier controller on the market, you know what I'm saying? To me personally. Yeah, man, I hope that they do it. I hope that's what this is leading to. I don't know that it is, but I'm hoping that it is. So, yeah, now let's move on to talking about, well, the blue guy. The blue guy, man, because Sonic is back. Sonic, what is it called? Frontiers. And IGN first actually did their previews on it, and I'm actually going to be reacting to that right here. So make sure you go to IGN. There's going to be links to the Skulls show. There's going to be links to the State of Play and links to these IGN videos, just to be clear, in the description. So make sure you click them, give them their clicks, and all that. And you get to actually hear the videos there versus just watching them here. But yeah, Sonic Frontiers. So, man, look at this. I'm going to just start it like this. Genuinely honest. Unreal Tech Demo by a fan. That's what I'm watching right here. Oh, look, I put Sonic in Unreal. Like when they put Samus in Unreal. Like when they put Mario in Unreal. Like when they put... it don't matter who in Unreal. When you put the characters in Unreal, right, and it's the generic world, and you maybe built some stuff, that goes with the theme of the game you want, like Sonic. So, yeah, let's throw some ramps, just have them random floating in the sky. And I'm not knocking random things floating in the sky. Let's be clear. I play Mario. That is a trope of Mario. That is a thing. Hell, Mario Strikers, the goddamn... levels are just in the middle of the goddamn universe, right? But Sonic is Sonic. Sonic has a sound to it, which is banging ass music. Sonic 1, 2, 3, and future Sonic game after that still had some decent soundtracks, right? Sonic is an art style. It's not just a blue dude in this really generic world. It's all the little squares, orange and darker orange squares to make up the loops. Green Hill Zone. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. All of you Sonic fans know what I'm talking about. This does not capture Sonic at all. Look, I'm gonna break this down even further for you. If this was Mario 64, right, the first jump from Sonic from 2D to 3D, this would be hot garbage. Hot garbage. This isn't the Ocarina of Time moment. This isn't the Metroid Prime moment. This isn't the Mario 64 moment. You know what I'm saying? This isn't even the F-Zero X GX moment, like going from that 2D style to 3D, or Mario Kart from 2D to 3D. This doesn't capture the essence of Sonic at all. At all. Visually. It's actually really bad visually, yo. Like, this world looks so plain and generic. Like I said, people are like, yo, Breath of the Wild. I'm like, don't disrespect Breath of the Wild when Breath of the Wild got areas that are greenery that look way better than this, way more dense than this, way less popping than this. But you also got deserts, and variety of jungles and sand areas. Come on, like, please. This, is an open world game for the sake of being open world. There's puzzles thrown around, which I don't knock puzzles. It seems like there's stuff everywhere, right, where you go. So it's not like you're just going to be running around on just that generic green area. But this green area, it's bad, yo. Like, it's like they just took the generic Unreal place and they just said, let's just fill it in with the lame-ass tropes from the lame-ass Sonic games, like grinding and bouncing off the same old bullshit you've been doing since Sonic Adventure, which hasn't worked. They've been getting trash reviews, for years. Obviously, they got a fan base that really likes these mediocre games, and they'll be like, oh, what I'm saying is blasphemous or crazy, or acting like Sonic hasn't been good since Sonic 3. I'm not acting, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, that's just your opinion. I mean, listen, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are garbage. But if you like them, that's cool. But they still are garbage. That's just your opinion. That's true. But it's also my opinion that Breath of the Wild is an amazing game. Some people say it's trash, and most people would agree. Nah, Breath of the Wild is an amazing game. You just have a trash opinion. Yeah. In this case, you have a trash opinion, and it's okay. Because you can like bad games. I like bad games. I like bad movies. We all like certain bad things, but you got to be able to accept that the thing you like is objectively mediocre, trash, hot garbage. It happens. It happens. Like, yo, Red, what's your favorite Godzilla? The one with Matthew Broderick. That shit is trash. It's always raining, like it's raining right here. It's always raining in that movie. I don't care. It's my favorite Godzilla movie. It is. Other than King of the Monsters, which finally was an American Godzilla movie done right, done well. Godzilla vs. Kong, mediocre. That first Godzilla that they did with these, the titles of these Kong movies, garbage. He was barely in the movie. But King of the Monsters, fire. But yeah, I like garbage stuff, and I don't have no problem admitting it. Like, we don't all love great things. Certain things, it's like, yo, man, I enjoy it. Hell, this last season of Fear the Walking Dead, worst season of Fear the Walking Dead. Do I still like Fear the Walking Dead? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, yeah, it was mediocre as hell. But every other season was good. So hopefully they'll land on their feet. They're bringing back old characters. Cool. It's fine. But I can admit that and still be like, oh, I'm a fan still. It don't make you less of a fan to be like, yo, the thing you like is trash. Yo, the Sonic team, they haven't gave a shit about Sonic in forever. It's always been ideas. Instead of it's like, yo, how don't you have something that works? And they think they do. Like this stupid running fast Sonic bullshit and grinding everywhere. It's like, yo, play the 2D games and then make that in 3D. Why is it so hard to do that? It's not. It's genuinely not hard to do that. It's a choice to keep doing this tomfoolery. Got to go faster. Like, that's not all that Sonic is. It can be so much more, And the closer that they came to actually doing it was Generations, where it's like, yeah, look, it looks like Sonic, the worlds and stuff like that. But it also felt like a giant retreat over again. It's the same thing at Star Fox. It's like, yo, move the story forward. Like, I love Star Fox. But am I going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm excited for a Star Fox game that's the same damn story again? We're going to go through Corneria, first level. At the end, there's going to be Andross. Like, nah. Like, move the story forward. Star Fox Beyond, I talked about it. It's right there. Pay me, Nintendo. I got you. Nah. But anyway, yeah. This, to me, wasn't good at all. And seeing people just try to always be like, oh no, like, look at this shit. This is some baby bullshit. This is a puzzle like Mario Galaxy. Are you really disrespecting Mario Galaxy with this what the fuck was that? Like, I'm just like, man, I don't know. Look, to each their own. Let Sonic fans enjoy what they enjoy. That is what I'm trying to say. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. But, let's call a spade when it is what it is. And this shit right here looks horrendous, boring. The sound, like, yo, if I put up the sound, I honestly don't think that my channel will get any kind of copyright or anything. This is generic ass sound. There's no music here. There's no nothing. You know what I'm saying? This right here is the best. This is Sonic the hamster wheel. This is the hamster wheel the fans be on. That's the Sonic cycle. Always thinking it's going to be good. And then it's like, oh yeah, what did that open up? A whole bunch of nothing. Look at that little nugget right there. Not a goddamn thing. Yo, just sit here shitting on Sonic. It's not my fault, man. It's not my fault. Like, if you was going to make this realistic world, then why you just didn't lean into the movie? Bring the character model from the movie into this and go. So, this is the second gameplay, right? If I'm not mistaken. Hopefully, I ain't picked the same one. It don't matter. The damn world all looks the same. It's all the same goddamn crap. No, this is the same. This is the new one. And this one, let me jump ahead a little bit. This one is supposed to focus on fighting. Look at the fighting, yo. Come on, Sonic, go. Let's do this. Look at the fighting. Look at it. Zoom away, come back, do. Sonic, yay, yay. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun. Like, you can make, and somebody be like, oh, how you know? You don't got a control in your hand. Don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect me like I haven't been playing games since the goddamn first generation. Don't disrespect me like I haven't played all these mediocre Sonic games and I can still feel the mediocrity just by looking at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You do too. Don't lie to yourself. Right? And it's like, oh yeah, now you don't just dash in, now you got some punches and all that. And also, look, this is gameplay not done by IGN. So before anybody wants to shit on IGN, this is Sega sent gameplay. And they getting their asses whipped by this character that doesn't even look like he's attacking. It shit looks so lame, so boring. And this is all you see in this. It's these characters, oh, remove the shield, boom, 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 do circles around them. Like, I don't know. It's like, yo, like, did they care when they made this game? I don't think they cared. It's like, I feel like this was like the Duffel Brothers in that last season of Stranger Things, which I got to talk about in the next podcast. But I just feel like they didn't care too much. It just reeked through the actual work, through the material. Like, I don't think they cared this much this time. But anyway, I'll talk about that more in the future. Yeah, this right here, there's no care. There's no care into the world. There's no care into nothing. I'm not gonna say there's no care into where they put the things in the world. I'm sure they sat there and thought about it a little bit. But yeah, this world doesn't. It's just an incomplete grassland. It could have just been a desert for all this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, the fighting, this shit looks so boring, unfun, unappealing, just dry, yo. Just dry. Look at this Unreal Engine Waterloo. Like, you don't understand. Like, they have generic templates in Unreal Engine like this. And this literally looks like one. I'm not just saying that. And I'm not the only one saying this. So we're not all crazy. Everybody's saying this. We all feel this way. Like, yo, what is this generic ass world you made? Like, make a Sonic game. Make a Sonic game. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll see a tweet that I just posted recently. And it was basically me saying, you know, this is what Sonic should look like, because Sonic Twitter posted an image, and this is beautiful concept art, right? And it's not even the concept art. It's like material from Sonic 1. And the world is like, look, that's 3D Sonic right there. Just take that concept art and make it. You have concept art. I don't understand why superhero movies, they like use concept artists. It's the most disrespectful thing in the world. Like, I get that, oh yeah, no, I want a concept artist for this film because he has to draw the scenes and the places of this film. I'm like, bro, you got 70 years worth of concept art. They're called comic books. Just pull from that. Use straight. You could do anything you want, any story, anything. Oh, any tone. It's there. It's right there. It's in the source material. I promise you. You know, but it's like, nah, we always want to go against the grain and create these other different. Like, no, don't worry. Joe Blow, concept artist that you're going to get. I don't care what movie he worked on. Isn't going to be better than the guys who worked on Wolverine for 50 years. I'm sorry. Just open a Wolverine comic and then pull from that. That's always going to be the best recommendation you can give to anyone working on a comic book movie, a video game movie. As a dude, it's all there. They already did the concept arts and all that work for you. Trust me. All you got to do is pull from that. But anyway, yeah, man, Sonic. You're seeing it. It's what it is. It's more of the same old, same old. So yeah, in other news, I'll let this rock real quick while I talk about other news. Will Arnett and Samoa Joe actually got cast as Sweet Tooth in the Twisted Metal show that's coming out, which I know Anthony Mackie is in that. So yeah, Will Arnett, dope. You know, that's Batman right there. That's Lego Batman. And Samoa Joe, come on, Samoa Joe, the goddamn ROH television champion, man. Newest signee of All Elite Wrestling. So yeah, Samoa Joe been doing his thing for a while now in Hollywood. You know, he's playing this dude, King Shark and all that in Kill the Justice League. You know what I'm saying? So that's him in the actual game, animating and doing the voice of that character. So that's awesome to me that he's actually now going to be in this live action Twisted Metal. You know, so that's cool. And I'm like, yeah, him doing the body, Will Arnett doing the voice is great. Because the body-wise, like, yeah, he's going to look sick, you know, with the clown mask on. Yeah, Samoa Joe going to kill that. He's going to kill it. It's going to be amazing. So, yeah, man. Y'all enjoying this boring-ass Sonic gameplay? Remember the Mega Leg from Galaxy? Remember Mega Leg? Galaxy 1? Way better than this. Just saying. That was 2007. 2007. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, it's absolutely crazy to me. But anyway, I'm gonna get into these questions now. Let's move on from this Sonic Yeah, I'm gonna get into these questions now. And the first one comes from Jack Jam Jim. He says, "Why is the usual suspects telling people that this new Sonic Frontiers trailer looks good? It looks like every 3D Sonic game in the past decade, aka the shit that has been bad." Yeah, I'm glad you sent this question right now. It looks like the same old, 100%, and it's the same old cycle where it's like, yeah, we gotta say this thing is good or whatever. Like I can understand IGN saying it's good. They got the first dibs. Everybody else, they should be 100% genuine and be like, yo, like they didn't even try with this world. Like this game needs to be delayed more than Halo. Do you hear anybody saying this game should be delayed? That's what I tell you. Like when it was like PlayStation fans weaponizing Halo and then like own visual against it, and then they bit on that. And don't get it twisted, that game needed to be delayed to this year, this fall. But still, like Halo looked way better than Sonic did, and every step of the way. But that game got shit on. But this, people just already willing to let this come out. Just like Sonic Boom, that was trash. Sonic Lost World, that was trash. All those Sonic games are trash. Werehog, Sonic Generation, that shit is garbage. And I've been playing that this year. Garbage. People always, no, it's not. It's not good. Does it look nice? Yeah. Does it sound good? It's alright. Game, garbage. Glitches, out the wazoo. And I'm playing this in 60 frames per second, 4K HDR, the best version of this game you could play. And it still has glitches out the ass. I mean, falling through trash, falling through garbage. If you're like, no, it's good. No, it's not. You're a liar. It's not an opinion. It's facts. Because a game that has glitches written with glitches, it's garbage. There's no way that you could ever make me say it's good. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, you just gotta, work around the glitches. No, I'm gonna just say it's garbage. And I'm gonna move on and play something better. There's too many good games out here to be wasting time with mediocrity, So that's just the way I feel. So Jack Jim asks, since Sony has finally unveiled that the whole slate is coming to PC, when do you think Nintendo will unveil their plans for this move? 2025 or later? I think it'll be sooner than 2025 actually. If they smart, they would at least open up a game storefront, or they would just partner up with either a Steam or Epic Game and put their games there exclusively or whatever the case may be. I think they need to expand for the simple fact that even if you say, oh, they're not going to put their stuff on PC, you're still going to be able to play it through there. Why? Because they are going to expand to the cloud. They are. They're going to want people to be able to play their stuff without having to have a crazy expensive entry point. They're going to want that. Why? Because Xbox is doing that. Xbox has literally made the entry point into their ecosystem $1 for 3 months currently. Yes, Game Pass and play on your PC. Game Pass. You can play Game Pass on your phone through your Apple devices. You know what I'm saying? Like, bam. You see what they did with Fortnite. You know what I'm saying? Like that game shot up on the Xbox storefront as one of the most played games. Why? Because it was free. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Like I'm gonna actually look right now on the Xbox store to see, the top free games and things like that. So I'm gonna go to top free, and I'm gonna share this with y'all right now before I even click it, so we can see together. All right, top free game. All right, see you got Roller. That just came out. That's the Ubisoft game. Y'all know I don't do Ubisoft, man. Well, Mario, that's the only Ubisoft game I'm playing. But all right, so you got Call of Duty there, Apex, Roblox, and Fortnite. You see it's right there at the top. Yeah, man, free games. And where is Halo? Halo's all the way right here on the third row. Obviously, I said that it was actually on this first row when they got the season update, and that's that people played it, saw that it was still the same old shit, and it was a mediocre ass season drop, so they just moved on. You know what I'm saying? It's like they got to do better with that, but that's on them. And I'm just being honest. And I enjoyed Halo Infinite. I thought the single player was mad fun. I think there's fun to be had in the multiplayer, if they just tweak some things. But yeah, they taking their sweet time with that, and they just have to adjust a lot of things like Battle Pass, stuff like that. That's stuff that I feel like you had to have done right before your game drop. And it's like, yeah, can they salvage it? Of course they could. No Man's Sky's been salvaged. Plenty of games been salvaged. Halo can be salvaged, obviously. But yeah, it's gonna take a lot of work. And I mean, they talk about it. They know. I'm not saying nothing that they don't know, that they didn't already say in their last, Halo Waypoint, event and stuff like that. So yeah, man. That That's the damn situation we in right now, you know? Free to play games, cloud. Nintendo's definitely gonna have to adapt, whether they like it or not, whether they go kicking and screaming. They've gone kicking and screaming into everything that they've done right now. They still kicking and screaming online. And by the way, I just want to make clear, in my in my grievances of Nintendo Switch Sports, I just want to make mention of this real quick. I mentioned to y'all, I was like, yeah, Nintendo EPD, they when it comes to online, they're really bad at it. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have in Nintendo Switch Sports a basic rematch button. That's a basic thing, like a rematch. But even my girl was like, "Yo, like, we can't rematch them." I was like, "Nah, there's no rematch button." She's like, "Oh, that's crazy. Why not?" Like, it's just weird to even to the general person. It's just weird. But I was like, to y'all, I told y'all, I said, watch when the next level game come out, but online, which is Strikers, right? And I said they'll have a rematch button right there, and they do. And I said, yeah, because there's no one way to do online over there. It's still the same thing, where it's people who are completely out of touch, and it's people who know how to do it, but have to fall in line within Nintendo's, rule set. They have to fall in line, and they have to do it their way or the highway. So it's like they only can go as far as they can go. And as far as they can go, we know what that is. It's basically Mario Strikers. It's basically Splatoon. We've seen it already. And anyway, I bring that up to say they went into that kicking and screaming. And yeah, they're going to go into putting their games on, I'll just say open platforms, something like a PC, something like the cloud. Yeah, they're going to do that 100%. And if that bothers you, then you're just going to be like the PlayStation fans who are crying right now because more people are going to get to play Spider-Man. Like, I'm going to buy Spider-Man. I'm going to give money to a Sony first-party game. The last time I did that was in the PlayStation 3 generation. That's a W for them, and that's a W for you, PlayStation fan, who's ignorant as hell. Like, that means that's more funds for your future Spider-Man game, and that's guaranteeing more future Spider-Man games, and more people get to play that game, which get to love that game, and then big up one of your exclusives, you know what I'm saying? Like, and say it's awesome. I don't see where the negative is in this unless you're a console warrior person. Who it's like, oh, I need my exclusive so I can use it as points. It's over. It's done. There's no more exclusives unless you're talking about Nintendo consoles. And I don't make that rule, because if you want to say, oh yeah, they're exclusive to the Sony and PC, fine. But it was Sony guys who made that not the thing, when they were like, I could just play the Xbox games on PC, even though they didn't have PCs. I could just play the games on PC. That was always the argument. Well, now that argument applies to PlayStation. And I'm not saying ha. I'm saying yay. Now you get to shut the hell up and have to grow up, have to change, have to adapt. It's over. It's over. Look, here it is so I can wrap it up. Wrap this podcast up. You buy a PlayStation because you just want a PlayStation. That's just the truth. Now, in 2022, listen to what I'm saying. This is not an opinion. This is facts. You buy a PlayStation in 2022 because you want a PlayStation. Yeah, that's it. A box that says PlayStation. Not because nothing that box plays, because of PlayStation. That's it. That's it. You buy Xbox because you want Game Pass, which you also can use on your PC, your mobile phone, television set in the future, with apps and things like that, right? But you buy Xbox also because, hey, well, I get the Xbox. That's a controller for my PC also. It works on that. It also works on my phone. Ooh, that controller's very special. You know what I'm saying? And that's all these controllers work on PC. I'm just saying. I'm just breaking it down. You buy Xbox because these console games that I buy will actually be forward compatible, and then get FPS boost, something that PC don't even do. PlayStation damn sure don't do. I'll get 4K or 8K in the future upgrades or whatever. The point is, my old games are going to play on my future console. If it's a first-party game, I get the PC version. I don't lose by having the Xbox. I gain. You lose by having the PlayStation, because you're tying yourself to a box, into a generation. And we don't know what their forward compatibility, backwards compatibility. They just never been balanced with that. You saw what they did with PlayStation 3, and then they removed it, the backwards compatible one. This generation is like, yeah, most PlayStation 4 games, but not PlayStation 1, it's just not the same. So Xbox ecosystem, as a box, has actual 1,000 times more value than any other one. because, well, the games will carry over, Blu-ray, media, whatever the case you want to be. I could sit here and tell you a million reasons why buying the Xbox still makes sense, right? The only thing I could say for PlayStation is, well, you could get the first party stuff day one. And that's not going to be a real statement soon enough. I'm sorry. It's just not going to be. The games will be launching day and date. Why? Because they're going to want to get all the media buzz, all the sales, and be able to say, we sold this many on day one. We had this many players on day one. It's what Forza did too. Oh, we got 20 million players, in a week or whatever. Like crazy numbers. You know what I'm saying? Halo, the same thing. Like, they're going to want to be able to put out those statistics. So, yes, it's coming. If you don't believe me, well, you probably didn't believe me in 2018 when I was saying all PlayStation shit will be exclusive. Why? Because Microsoft will force it. Sales don't matter. It's about market share. Here we are. Everything I was saying in 2017 and 2018 all came true right now. I even said there was going to be months where the Xbox Next Gen system is going to be outselling the next PlayStation. It'll happen. And look, it's happening. It's just a reality, you know what I'm saying? So the console wars are really dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. Like, it's just done. Like, you can say, oh, yeah, I could get a PlayStation and get the Essential service and all that stuff. I'm like, sure. I mean, you didn't care about that shit when it was there before because it's just a reformatted what Sony was already selling you with PlayStation Now and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, yeah, but Strays in the coming exclusive. Yeah, you'll get little things like that exclusive in there. That's cool. But the true growth of that service, it's it becoming like Game Pass, which is what? You don't need a box in order to use that service. So like I said, still, eventually that box will be super irrelevant. Why? Because they don't have quick resume. There's no quick resume on PC, boy. That's a console exclusive to Xbox. Like, people don't understand, like, the Xbox Series X is a fire next generation console. I'm not just making this up. And that's with a controller that's still very much buried in the last generation, and me sitting here crossing my fingers that they finally have a controller with most controls. I'm just speaking truths. Buying games, the way you buy games, the way that you can, play so many games because the Game Pass, new games, first party games they want, the tie to, smart delivery, play anywhere. All that makes the Xbox still 100% relevant as even a secondary box in the other room, whether it's a Series X or a Series S. And you got your main PC in your main room, and that's where you play most of your Xbox stuff. Yeah, you want to continue playing Gear 6 in your bedroom? It's like, yeah, I'm just going to chill in bed and maybe sick right now. I wish I had my console over here. You can. And if you don't even got a console, you can use your mobile phone and everything. It just wins in every shape of the way. That's not an opinion. That's just facts. Anybody saying otherwise, you still doing console warring. You should stop. The console war, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't know how else to put it. But this state of play solidified that. And that's a great thing because it makes the video game world better. Yo, like, Sony fans were really bad right now. Like, really sickening with their weaponizing their first party shit and trying to hate on every little thing. And when the game get delayed, they go extra hard on the Xbox One, but they don't say shit about the fact that, well, every game that came out from Sony this year was a game that was delayed at some point. And you didn't care, right? You just waited for it to come out. God of War, you ain't even seeing the state of play. Is it delayed? Is it not? I don't know. I don't really care whether it is, whether it isn't. It's going to come out. And when it does, it'll be better off because they took their time, right? Like, my point is, they weren't talking like I'm talking. They were weaponizing everything. They were really bad. So this move from Sony, I think, is really healthy for the video game industry as a whole. That's real talk, where they can be less insufferable. You know what I'm saying? And now open up to the idea of everybody can just enjoy PlayStation. And they don't need to buy a PlayStation. It's okay. We all win. You win. I win. They win. Everyone wins. It's a beautiful thing. So in that sense, we've kicked off this what would have been E3 season in the greatest way possible. Amazing. We just need a confirmation that Nintendo's going to do a show, and we good. Because Jeff Keighley's show already confirmed. We're going to see Planet Alana there. We're going to see a Callisto Protocol gameplay there. Gameplay for both. Planet Alana is one of my most anticipated games. I mentioned it in my Xbox, things I want to see at the Xbox show. Xbox Bethesda show. So we got guaranteed gameplay of that. There's a lot of good stuff. And of course, next week that, demo is going to come out for A Plague Tale. Yo, like, it's crazy good right now. It's crazy good. Like, if you would have told me a week ago that I would have had, this podcast talking, like, I would have done this podcast and had it in such a positive state, talking about PlayStation, I would have been like, unless they announced Spiderman on PC, it ain't happening. But yeah, they did. You know what I'm saying? And look, it was just positive all around. And plus the stuff that they showed was really good, for any multi-platform player out there. Like I remember when the show ended, there was people who was trying to say, "Oh, Resident Evil was gonna be exclusive," And I'm like, Jesus, yo, like why would you want that? That game wasn't even exclusive to PlayStation in the first place. That was a GameCube game. That GameCube was the catalyst for why the Resident Evil series went through all the trials and tribulations it did, for a little while right there. But yeah, it's not exclusive, man. Nothing there was exclusive. And that's a good thing. Period. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it. For this podcast, there's gonna be, I want to say, 2 podcasts this upcoming week. There's gonna be a lot of podcasts, put it like that. And then after I do these, I don't know what's gonna be, like 6-7 podcasts in this 1 month or whatever. After the Microsoft show. No, after I'm gonna keep the hope alive. After the Nintendo live reactions that I'm gonna do, that'll be the last podcast of the month, and then I'm gonna just definitely take a break so I don't get no burnout. You know what I'm saying? For a week, and then come back around with more podcasts. But if you're on YouTube, you're not gonna feel it at all. And yeah, Patreon. Again, you're gonna have so much content. Don't worry, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But anyway, yeah, it's already good, but it's only gonna get better. I believe that this is gonna be a great E3 like season, man. The video game season is upon us, y'all. It is upon us. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this week's podcast. There was no real comments in the chat. I know y'all was probably just listening and enjoying it, which is cool. Let me check the chat one more time, just in case. Nah, it wasn't. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. Until the next one. Peace.